Yeah, good day to every Nigerian. Good day to every Nigerians across the globe. This is your man again, Fash. Yeah, I am here to express some things I truly come across and understand within the political scene in the last 7 years. I am here to share my experience with the late Governor Akeredolu during his time as the governor of Ondo State. Quite pathetic with the way our politicians run in Nigeria. Most of the blames we put on our governors and the president doesn't worth it because they work with deceivers. Majority of those in Nigerian politics, they are there for their selfish interest. Most of the advisors to the governor, to the president, they are foolish-minded, greedy human beings. They are wicked and heartless. All they care about is how to make money out of politics. Their major interest is making money out of politics, so that's why they don't care about the feelings of the people. What we are operating in Nigeria presently is still not democracy. Since the government is never for the people, and even by the people, they got to the system based on their logical means of robbing the people to really get what they want at all costs. That makes it difficult for them to feel for the people. I have been with late Governor Akeredolu before he became governor. I have been working with him politically before he became governor in 2017. When he contested in 2012, we did it together. When he contested in 2016, we did it together as well, in which I'm a key player in that election. I work with him directly one-on-one. We talk one-on-one. We message one-on-one on phone. My major interest coming into politics was to see how I can be able to use my little understanding about life to share minds and how things could work for the people. I didn't make millions or billions from politics simply because I'm truthful, simply because I'm honest, because I'm God-fearing. My intention in going to politics is to make sure I use my contact with our leaders as a way to express to them whatever happening within the people. And that's exactly what I did with late Governor Akeredolu. I make sure I brief him on so many things going on in the communities, in the society. I am a man that have my political structure across the whole 18 local governments in the state. I have people in every local government. Name it in Akoko, name it in Oriomi, name it in Eseldu, name it in Odigbo, name it in Akure, either Idanre, either Ileriji, just name it. Every local government, I have a representation there that used to brief me information on whatever happening and how people are finding it difficult to survive. I want Nigerians to listen very carefully. If anybody is still dreaming that Naira will bounce back to be better or to be closer to dollar like we have it in late 70s, 80s, early 80s, they are getting it wrong. Nigeria is far beyond repair. The present president, our current president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, may be willing to rebuild Nigeria. But I can bet with anybody, he will never achieve much because he really don't understand the major component, major problem affecting Nigeria and affecting Nigerians generally. It is not possible for the president to fix the country alone. He needs consultants. Who are the consultants? Majority of the ministers we are having in Nigeria, they don't know anything about the ministry they are piloting. The only minister that I have seen performing in this administration is only Olubumetunji Ojo, the Minister for Interior. He remained the only minister that we can still feel his impact within few months. That means he's a consultant. He knows the right thing to do. Majority of Nigerian ministers, they really don't understand the portfolio they are managing, and that is the reason why we hardly get it right. The Minister for Economy, did they really even understand what is economic at all? Did they even really understand how to build good economy for a country? We have gone far from 75 kobo to $1, which I knew when I was a kid. Now to over 1,000 naira to $1 American. How do we put it right? How do we fix things that way? We need a minister, a consultant who understands how to turn things around, not for their own advantage, but for the collective advantage of everyone in Nigeria. Who is going to tell me, who is going to prove to me that with the current economic situation, the planning we have on ground, that Nigeria can be fixed? We are talking about a country where interest rate on borrowing from Nigerian bank is about 30 to 35%. How do we compare that to UK, Germany, Canada, America, where interest rate is at single digit, like 3%? The manufacturer in Canada, in UK, in Germany, the raw materials is at their backyard, and yet they are borrowing, paying single digit interest rate to their banks. You cannot compare someone producing in UK paying 3% interest rate per annum to his bank, compare with a Nigerian producer who borrow and pay 35% interest. How would their quality be the same? There is no way their production could work the same way. What we need to fix right in Nigeria, if Nigerian economy must improve, Nigerian leaders must put it together. They must stop running Nigeria as a personal business. They need to bring down our interest rate in the banking sector. The interest rate in Nigeria is too exorbitant. There is no way you can manage it without becoming a problem for the country. We need a banking lending rate that can be at least 5 or 6, 7% interest per annum, not 35%. When someone is borrowing in UK and Canada and paying 3% interest per annum, how compared to a Nigerian borrower who is borrowing to pay 35% interest rate to the bank? How will they survive? How will they manage the business, even in a country where electricity is a disaster? A serious-minded leader need to take up some issues in Nigeria as a matter of urgency. My expectation is that President Bola Tinubu will declare state of emergency on electricity. How will Nigerians be paying for electricity that they are not consuming? This is fraud. This is fraud. It doesn't happen anywhere in the world. My advice to every Nigerian, if you have money to move your family out of Nigeria, you start doing it immediately. Nigeria is a disaster. Any Nigerian that have money, that have means of money, they should start moving their families out of Nigeria. Nigeria is the fire on earth. Nigeria is a country where people cannot survive without stealing, without fraud, without kidnapping, without rituals. Nigeria is a country of doom. We only go to church every Sunday we are not serving God. We are just serving ourselves. That is the truth. My experience with late Governor Akeredolu exposed me to the way they are running Nigerian system. They lie to the governor. They lie to governor every day. People lie to him. They told him that people are doing fine. They told him that Ondo State people, they are enjoying. Those who surround Governor Akeredolu, they deceive him till his last day on earth. Telling him that the system is not working, telling him that people are suffering, he will never believe you, because the closest people to him, they lie to him on daily basis. They made him feel comfortable that people are praising for him. Why people are dying? People are grumbling. Some people advise the governor to go and push away those who are planting on the government reserve, so that they could sow the land to Chinese people. They bulldoze their cocoa tree. They destroy their plantation. Their means of livelihood was destroyed. A lot of them died away. Personally, myself, I wrote a proposal. I forwarded it to Mr. Governor. Before this happened, I wrote a proposal how state government could partner with the farmers that are planting on the government land You cannot expect people to continue farming on the old lands they inherited from their grandfathers. The land that the cocoa there is no longer yielding good fruit. But when they discover that the government reserve area has a fertile land, whenever they plant cocoa, it's always of high yield. That interested them, and that was the reason why a lot of them moved into that place. But quite pathetic that our wicked politicians advised Mr. Governor to sell that place to the Chinese and bulldoze all the cocoa plantation and render those people useless. A lot of them died thinking and suffering. I really don't know where we are heading to in Nigeria, a country where people are so selfish, they don't care about others, how they survive. People trade with public values as if it's personal effect, and that doesn't make everyone to fine. I will use this medium to send SOS to American Embassy, Canadian Embassy, British Embassy, German Embassy. I am sending SOS to them to kindly reduce the way they denied Nigerians visa. Give visas to Nigerians. Let them go abroad to go and work for money. Nigeria is an hellfire on earth. You cannot survive Nigeria if you are not corrupt. That is the truth. If you are not corrupt, if you are not a criminal, you can't survive Nigeria. I'm talking from experience. I am 100% close to late Governor Akeredolu. We communicate directly, both on phone. There was a time an issue happened concerning the way they used to collect money from women that deliver in public hospitals. When I share this information with Mr. Governor, that people are being charged high money to pay, and the governor said he was not aware that the system was free, child delivery in public hospitals in the state. Mr. Governor involved the Commissioner for Health. The Commissioner called me that Mr. Governor reported the issue, and the Commissioner told me that is in the riverine area, coming to Ondo, that if he gets to Ondo, he will call me so that we'll be able to talk on the issue. Till today, the Commissioner still in riverine area. He has never moved to Akure since 2022, last year. It's only the PS, primary head, that called me, invited me to his office. They investigate, and I told them whatever really happened. They invited those involved. At the end of the day, they term it and tag it as if it only happened in one particular unit. That was what they used to lie and deceive Mr. Governor. The little money the people could have survived with, they will collect it from them. The way they brainwash the late governor with a lot of fake information, making him feel as if building, yielding revenue is more better than the life of the people. They bring in a lot of sort of revenues to perish the system. You can make findings. Ondo State is the state where things are the most costly in the whole Nigeria. Cost of living in Ondo is more higher than that of Lagos. I am talking facts. People should make investigations, they should make findings. Nigerian leaders, the president, the governors, the senate president, they don't have good people working with them. That is why Nigeria is not working. They have wicked-minded Nigerians as their advisors. Those who surrounded them, they are deceiving them. Nigeria is doomed already. Nigeria is a country where 10,000 naira cannot feed 2 mouths in just 3 days. Nigeria is completely doomed. That is the truth. President Bola Tinubu did not understand Nigerians' problem. He doesn't understand what Nigerians are passing through. He quoted, they are trying to rebuild Nigeria. During the process of rebuilding, the leaders are enjoying. The leaders have access to billions. They are living in affluence where the people are suffering. An average Nigerian cannot eat well. Common Nigerian does not even eat. Some people do not eat throughout the whole day. The leaders do not care. The only thing they bother about is how to buy exotic cars for themselves. If we are to rebuild Nigeria in the real perspective, if we are to rebuild a nation, if we are to rebuild the system, everybody must feel the pain. I heard an information, I read history about India. When Indians want to rebuild their country, even their president started tying wrapper. Because he made law that if it remains, he made a vow that if it is possible for every Indian to work nakedly, for them to rebuild India, that is the way they would go about it. And they discovered that the day they discover and see their president tying wrapper, showing that truly he is going to suffer the same thing with his people. That is how to build a nation. When you want to build a nation, you make sure you also pass through the same pain the common people are passing through. We are not, but in Nigeria, that's not the issue. The governors they are spending billions. The president and their families, they are enjoying. The senators are enjoying, but they will be sharing one cup of rice for the common people. They are too wicked. We have wicked-minded humans leading the country. That is why the country is not working. We have wicked-minded human beings governing this country. That is why things are not working. If Nigerian value will not help us to grow, will not help us to move on, why can't we remove 3 zeros from Naira so that 5,000 Naira will now turn to 50 kobo? So that we have 50 kobo to $1. We can do that. Let us remove 3 zeros from Naira. Our 5,000 Naira will now come to 5 Naira. And we will now know that our exchange value to dollar will be like 50 kobo to $1. Then we start rebuilding from that. We can negotiate with the World Bank, with the population, with our current population based with our GDP. There is no any calculation, no any mathematics. There is no any economics brains that can rebuild the system with the little we have on crude oil. Even the foolishness in our leaders, they have forgotten that by 2030, all the countries in Europe and America will start using electric cars. The moment they start using electric cars, crude oil will be useless. God has shown us all these problems. God has shown us that crude oil will soon be useless. That was why we saw most of this problem during the COVID-19 lockdown. During COVID-19, a lot of countries do not buy crude oil because they don't need it. The same thing will happen as from 2031, crude oil will be useless. As at that time, I will see how Nigerian government will survive. I wanted to see how Nigerian government will survive the economy without crude oil, since crude oil is our major means of income. Nigeria is a country of deceivers. The way they deceive one another at home is still the same way they deceive the leaders. President Tinubu needs a consultant. He needs advisors. He needs people that can really tell him that the people are suffering. This is not the time to pay billions to lawmakers. The constituency allowance should be removed from the system. We don't need it. Constituency allowance is useless to the system. It is not the duty of the lawmaker. It's never the duty of the senator, the MHR. It's never their duty to fix transformer. It's never their duty to sink borehole. It is that time we remove constituency allowance from their money. Federal government should add the constituency allowance given to lawmakers. They should add it up to state allocation so that state government will be able to have more money to spend on so many projects. There are so many mistakes. There are so many errors in this country. That is why the country is not moving. Even the federal characters, that has to do with federal road. What is federal road? Federal road should be within Abuja, the federal capital. Every state should be able to walk their road from boundary to boundary. That is the best way to fix road. A minister of works that sits in Abuja won't be able to know there is a road that has problem in Benin or Delta. Most of them flew helicopters. They fly around in private jets. How would they know where there is road problem? The problem we have on serious-minded managing Nigeria. That is why the country has backward for decades. And that is why we are still unable to fix it right. We are still in the political system, political terrain, where we use ministerial appointments to compensate politicians. How will Nigeria move forward? You are appointing a minister who does not have the knowledge or anything about the portfolio he is going to manage. Minister of Petroleum has never passed through the ministry. We are appointing a minister of works who doesn't know anything about the ministry. How would that work? It's only in Nigeria that a president will appoint a lawyer to be a minister of works. It's only in Nigeria that a lawyer will be appointed to be minister of power. What does he know about electricity? The problem, Nigeria is a country filled with problems, and these problems are just minor problems. But the reason behind the unresolved issue is simply because we are appointing the wrong people to manage some particular portfolios that they don't have the knowledge at all. I am using this medium to encourage Nigerians I'm using this medium to encourage Nigerians. If you know that you have means of finance to move your family, all your family out of Nigeria, you better do. Because in few years, Nigeria will be the most disastrous country in the whole world. I am saying it. With the way we are managing Nigeria, Nigeria is going to be doomed and be the worst in the entire world. How do we start from? How do we get to this level we are today? I can remember, even in 1992, when dollar was changing at 22 naira to $1, we were complaining that the country was bad, all knowing that there is still much suffering ahead. It's until we are able to fix in a right consultant in every right avenue before we can be able to get it right. As long as we are still using ministerial appointment, the board chairman, as long as we are using that as political compensation, Nigeria will forever doom. That is the truth. My experience with late Governor Akeredolu made me to understand much about the way they squander the state economy and even the federal economy. Nigerian money were being shared by people who does not have sympathy for the masses. Nigerian economy were being destroyed by wicked people who doesn't care about the future of the country. During the year round, people will be suffering. People will find it hard to live, to survive. But during few days to election, billions will be rolled out in order to pay for votes. I am talking from real fact. This is what I know. When late Governor Akeredolu was on earth, I have direct contact with him. I have direct contact with his brother. I have direct contact with his son. So I am 100% fully involved in the system. But the only reason why they didn't like me much is because I always beg that they should do things that will make people happy. My sincerity and honesty, begging them that people are suffering, begging them to reshape the life of the people, begging them that they should rebuild the system in order for people to be okay. They see me as an outcast. In Nigerian politics, if you cannot support their corrupt lifestyle, they push you away. They just neglect you. If they discover that you are not part of them and you are not ready to support, if you cannot be praising them that the way they are looting, sharing the money is good and genuine, they just neglect you. Simply because most of the leaders we are producing has no single interest about Nigerian development. They don't have anything to share. They don't have anything to give. They don't have any future to build for the masses. It's only in Nigeria that our leaders really prefer capital projects than to empower their people. I still don't see the reason why we don't build governors who can be able to sit up and start raising millionaires. The more millionaires you raise in a country, the more wealth will flow, and the more you have people paying tax, the more high revenue will be increased. But what we have in Nigeria are just leaders that are really there to share the money, really there to keep the money. They are ready to loot and buy properties and hid somewhere. Late Governor Akeredolu was a good man. He has a good mind. He has a good heart, but surrounded by wicked-minded, corrupt people who misled him, who deceive him on a daily basis, lie to him that the masses are enjoying, that the masses are praising him, that the masses are thanking God, that they've never seen his kind in Ondo State history. And that was the reason why things crumble. Things falling apart simply because the man followed the trust of the wrong people. They deceived him till his last day on earth. They made him comfortable that people are praising him. They made him comfortable that people so much happy with his government. I am using this medium to beg Nigerians, if you love your children, Nigeria is not a country where children should grow. Any children that grow in Nigeria, we end up becoming a criminal. That is the truth. Nigeria is the most difficult country to raise children. That is the truth. There is no way you can raise a child in Nigeria that will not end up becoming a criminal. If raising children in Nigeria quite easy. Why do we have surplus churches in Nigeria, and yet Nigeria is the most difficult country to live on earth? The crime rate in Nigeria just more than what we can think about. They kill people every day for rituals. They kill people every day for no reason. They kidnap. All sorts of crime. Is just Nigeria is the headquarters of crime. That is it. How long will it take us to get things right? Even there was some mail. I sent some mail to our president's wife. I sent some mail to Oluremi Tinubu. I outlined some problems affecting Nigeria, and I put in some way out. Nigerian leaders are the most difficult human being on earth. When you mail them, they will never reply you because they are bigger than God. If you send a mail to Joe Biden, American president, he will reply your mail. That is the beauty of America. That is the beauty of Westerners. The European and American leaders, they are the best human because they have good upbringing. Their lifestyle was built perfectly right from childhood. They don't see themselves as God over their people. But Nigerian leaders, they see themselves as God. They will only reply your mail or your text message only when you abuse them. If you don't abuse Nigerian leaders, they will never reply your mail or your text message. That's their lifestyle. If you have any good idea to share with them, as long as it doesn't support their corrupt lifestyle, they are not interested. That is the truth. My political experience has opened my brain, opened my eyes, opened my heart to the way they are looting Nigerian economy. Nigeria is doomed and is finished for life. Even though President Tinubu will rule Nigeria for 20 years, he will never return Naira back to what it was in 1980. Unless they are ready to negotiate with World Bank and remove 3 zeros from Naira. That is the only way out. But I don't see the economy. We are talking about country where we don't really have genuine means of income. The cocoa tree we are planting, we only plant cocoa, we suffer to produce cocoa, but it's only those in Europe and America that will dictate the price of cocoa. We have crude oil, we have gold, we have diamond, we have uranium, we have bitumen, we have calcium, we have kaolin, we have iron ore, we have tin ore, we have aluminium. All those setup is just a mere waste of time. It is only those in Europe that will determine the price value, not we the owners. That is why Africa will always be running behind and be lacking behind. I am hoping that we'll be able to produce a president that will be able to produce some leaders that will be able to sit tight one day and sit up and decided that we will no longer push raw materials abroad, that we will be able to produce here and push the finished products. The people in America, Germany, UK, Canada, they don't sell raw materials, they sell finished products. They produce their car and fix a price on it. If you like, you buy. If you like, you leave it. But here in Africa, all our raw materials, we sell it in raw materials. At the end of the day, we are crying that there is no employment. How are we going to have employment in a country where we prefer building churches than to build industry? A country whereby we prefer selling all our resources, we sell it as raw materials. We are not interested in production. A country where we don't really have mindset on producing. How are we going to survive? The Onyibo people who do not have crude oil, who do not have gold and diamond, they are the people fixing price for it. And they are the people that will never allow Naira or your currency to grow value. Because if your currency grow value and appreciate value, that means they are going to be your slaves. And they will never do that again. The mistakes they made in 60s, 70s, they will never go back to that mistake again when Naira is more valuable than dollar. When Nigeria is much better than London. I knew some of my cousins that studied in UK. They came back to Nigeria to come and work in 1980 simply because Nigeria was much better than UK by those years. But today, look at where we are. The Indians that used to work for us like housemaid, they are now the people that are giving us jobs. The South Africans that we were feeding during the apartheid, they are the people now that we are running to for surviving. Even the Ghanaians that we were helping, saving when they were suffering, now they have started revolting against Nigerians simply because we have bad leaders and we have bad mindset. My exposure in politics, my experience in politics made me to understand that Nigeria can never be okay. Any family that has money, any family that has means of raising finance, move your family out of Nigeria if you want better future for your children, because there is no better hope in Nigeria. Nigeria is a country for criminals. That is the truth. Nigeria is a country designed for criminals. There was a time I was thinking, I said, God, why did you give us so much values, but doesn't give us mindset to manage it? And one spirit told me that after God created the whole world, he knew that some people will destroy America, Germany, UK, Canada. Then he started removing them. After removing them all over the world, he now reasoned, where can he dump them? He now dumped on all the bad people. He dumped them in Nigeria and now put the best value there. Simply because their mindset, the foolishness in us, will not allow us to value the good value he is giving us. And look at where we are today. We have everything. We have the best weather, we have the best soil, and we have surplus resources. Yet we are the most poorest in the world. The best we can do, the best every family can do. That's why I am begging American Embassy, I'm begging Canadian Embassy, I'm begging you British Embassy, I'm begging German Embassy, Denmark Embassy. They should kindly, for God's sake, pity Nigerians. Means of surviving in Nigeria is too much. They should kindly save Nigerian souls by reducing the way they used to issue visas to people. Even if possible, if they can make their country to be visa free, so that it will be easy for Nigerians to get out of this rotten country and save their life and save the future of these children. These innocent children should not continue growing into this criminal environment that we have. Nigeria is a country, if you don't do rituals, if you don't go into robbery, if you don't go into kidnapping, if you don't sell human parts, if you don't steal public money, there is no way you can survive and be okay. That's Nigeria. Nigeria is a country that have it all, but suffer it all. I don't know when our leaders are going to wake up. About 3-4 years ago, the president of North Korea insulted Nigerians that they should sell Nigeria to them, that they will turn Nigeria to world-class economy within 1 year. It's a very bad insult on our leaders. But our shameless leaders doesn't see it as insult. They don't bother about it. They cannot sit down and reason with their head to start rebuilding the country. Any leader, either president or governor, that cannot turn their state or the country to a first-class economy within 4 years is a useless human being. That is the truth. Any president who cannot transform Nigeria to become a world-class economy within 4 years is a useless human being. He doesn't deserve to be president. Any state governor that cannot transform the economy of their state to first-class state within 4 years, that governor is useless. He doesn't deserve second term. That is the truth. To rebuild the public system is much easy. It is not your personal business that you will need to be looking for money. This is a system where there are values. There are ways to generate funds to build things. There are ways to generate funds to turn things around. But what we have in Nigeria, we just have plutocrats. The plutocrats we have in the system doesn't allow democracy to work. Nigeria is the only country where people pay for bad service. You pay for electricity you are not consuming. That is Nigeria. The amount of money China is making on Nigeria on electricity failure, on electricity problem by producing generator and solar system for us is more than enough to transform Nigeria economy to first-class economy. If we have a serious-minded leaders that are shameful. Our shameful leaders cannot sit down to calculate, to estimate how much money are we spending on generator annually, how much money are we spending on solar system annually, for them to be able to know that the money wasted on those areas is more than enough money to fix our electricity 24/7. I am waiting for the day federal government is going to sit tight and sit down with National Assembly to make a law to ban generator coming into Nigeria. I am waiting for a day the National Assembly, their foolishness will end, and they will sit down and agree within themselves that it is time to declare state of emergency on electricity. If Nigerians do not see power, they should not pay. Then we will see if electricity will not be stable. Federal government will roll out prepaid meters. The discos will go and hide it simply because they love cheating the masses on estimated billing. I don't really understand why our religious life is not really reflecting on our normal life. We only go to church and mosque and still come back as a criminal, destroying their country. It's only a foolish woman that destroy their home. All the leaders we are producing in Nigeria, they are shameless human beings. That is the truth. They are shameless. They should cover their face in shame. They and their families, they are enjoying while the masses are suffering. If we are going to, whatever any restructure in the system, it should affect everybody. Fuel subsidy should affect everybody, not some certain set of people. It's until we are able to get this right in Nigeria, that is when we will be able to fix Nigeria the way it should be. If we have a serious-minded leader who really know what he wanted to do, who is truly serious about fixing Nigeria, it doesn't take us 4 years to fix Nigeria to become a world-class country, simply because God has given us everything we required. But the problem is, all their major interest is how to loot the country resources and keep it for themselves and their family. They are forgetting that they are going to die. The moment you stop breathing, everything you acquire in life is useless. That is the truth. That was why King Solomon wrote that everything in life is vanity. And the Bible made it clear in the book of Proverbs that the little possession of the poor, the little possession of the righteous is much more valuable than the surplus owned by the unrighteous people. I am using this medium to please beg Nigerians, if you have means of raising finance to move your children out of Nigeria, kindly do. In the next few years, it's only God knows. It's only God who knows what Nigeria will turn to. That is just the truth. That is the fact. And that is the same way I am sending SOS to British Embassy, Canadian Embassy, American Embassy, German Embassy, Switzerland Embassy, Denmark Embassy, Norway, Spain. They should please bring down their visa processing difficulties so that Nigerians could be able to access visa and move out of this difficult country to survive the better way. God will bless Nigerians, and God will make life better for the poor. The rich are heartless. The wealthy and the powerful, they are heartless. God will deal with them when in his own time. I am pushing this out. I want everybody to watch it and share it for people. Let people really know that tomorrow, Nigerian tomorrow, it has been cut short already. Kindly share this video for people to really know what is happening in Nigeria. If anybody is believing in Nigeria, that person is fool. Even our leaders does not believe in Nigeria. If they believe in Nigeria, they will not be saving their money abroad. They will not be losing Nigeria money and be keeping abroad. They don't believe in Nigeria. That is why they are moving the value outside Nigeria. So any common people that are still believing in Nigeria, that Nigeria has a better future, that person is fool. That is the truth. Even though you have 20 million naira in your account, use it to move your family out of Nigeria. There's a better country where you can raise your children to the fear of God. There's some country in the world where your children will not need to they don't need to become aristo before they can survive. They don't need to go into Yahoo before they can survive. Nigeria is country designed for criminals. God bless you all.